McNeil, the manager of Manchester City and the former Scottish international. And first we hear from John Hill.
Always a tense occasion, just a couple of minutes before a game. Let's hope the national anthem work here. And unlike the Aspect Stadium yesterday when they certainly didn't work. Unusual step the Danes have got, John, hasn't it? Certainly. And welcome to Nectar Hal Coyotl. You join us with the teams just out onto the pitch for the start of Scotland's first game in this World Cup group against Denmark. And first of all, I ought to give you the team news, and that is that there has been no real surprise in the Scotland lineup. Paul Sturrock has got the vote above Steve Archibald and will line up alongside Charlie Nicholas in attack. So the Scotland side, which you'll see come up hopefully on your captions in a moment, is Jim Leighton in goal. There's the back four of Richard Gough, Alex McLeish, Willie Miller and Steve Nicol. Four men across the midfield, Gordon Strachan, Roy Aitken, Graham Souness and Maurice Malpass, with Charlie Nicholas and Paul Sturrock up front. The Scottish team standing for Scotland the Brave. And a quite magnificent atmosphere here in the stadium, and I can tell you it's a very colourful spectacle too, with the Danish supporters all dressed in red and white, and most of them have got the traditional war paint on. Some of the Scotland players looking a little bit grim and a little bit tense, as you would expect just before an opening match of a World Cup tie. The Danish side I will also run down for you in just a moment, and they have had a few problems due to the old Montezuma's revenge, which has struck quite a number of them. And Graham Souness there, by the way, just giving a wave to all the Scotland supporters. And there are quite a few of them here, I can tell you. Well, the banner's waving, and this, of course, a great day for the Scots, and they're here in their numbers all right, and hopefully they'll be celebrating in another 90 minutes. The Danish team, as I was saying, has had a few problems. 3 or 4 of them have gone down with stomach complaints, and that is why the Manchester United fullback John Steverbeck is only a substitute for this game. More of that in a moment, as the crowd stands for the Danish national anthem. Incidentally, there was one problem yesterday before the game between Mexico and Belgium, when the Belgians were actually asked if they'd mind if they played the West German national anthem as they stood, because they'd lost the Belgian record. I don't need to tell you what the answer was to that one. This is the first time that Denmark has ever reached the World Cup final, so it's the most significant moment in Danish history. And they'll be led today by Morten Olsen, their magnificent captain, who plays for Anderlecht, but who has been a fixture of the Danish side throughout the 70s and the 80s. And this is a moment that he must cherish and could scarcely have dreamt about. And there's the roar from the Danish supporters. And sitting alongside me today is the Manchester City manager, Billy McNeil. And Billy, it's a really extraordinary occasion. It's a colourful sight and it's a wonderful atmosphere.
Well, that's right, John. This is exactly the type of scene that we Scots have been waiting for. Fortunate enough for us, it's the Scottish type weather we've got here tonight, but there's a magnificent presence of Scottish fans, and they're looking forward to a good result tonight.
There you see the Scotland lineup. As I said, Alex Ferguson did just have a doubt about who to play alongside Charlie Nicholas, and Paul Sturrock's picture tells you that he's the man who got the nod. The crowd here is not a big one. The stadium, which is only 4 years old, holds just over 34,000 people. But of course, many of the people here in Mexico can't afford to actually come to the games, which is very sad. Now the Danish lineup. In goal is Troels Rasmussen, the regular keeper. At the back, Soren Busk, Morten Olsen and Ivan Nielsen, vastly experienced. In midfield, Soren Løvig, Jesper Olsen and Klaus Berggren. Preben Elkjær, Michael Laudrup will be the 2 strikers. And the last names you see there, the other 2 midfield men, Jens Bertelsen and Frank Arneson. Piontek, the West German manager, has done a marvellous job in Danish football since he took over the side. in 1979. There's today's referee, Lajos Nemet from Hungary, and actually he is well known to Alex Ferguson because he took charge of one of Aberdeen's European matches, and Billy encouraging that Alex Ferguson reckons he's the best referee that he's ever played with, ever known.
Well, that's a good sign, John. I think it's a good sign for players, and it gives them a lot of confidence if the managers get confidence in the referee. I think if you go on the field and you feel that you're going to get a square deal with the referee, then it makes you that little bit more happy, and obviously, hopefully, that's shown in your play.
Now, the conditions here today, not as sultry and hot as we perhaps feared, although you and I would like to have seen a little more of the sun over the last 12 days. We've hardly seen any at all. But at least the players will be playing in conditions familiar to them.
Well, that's right, John. It's almost like British type weather. The Scottish players will be very, very much at home in tonight's conditions.
So just about ready for the kick-off. And Scotland competing in their 4th successive World Cup finals. And of course it's been tragic for them, because on the last 3 occasions in West Germany, in Argentina and in Spain, they've gone out each time on goal difference. So goal difference must be in the minds. It's so important, isn't it?
Well, I think it's going to be very, very pertinent in this particular section, John. You know, we're a small nation, and really when you think that we have qualified for the last 4 World Cups, it should content us, but it doesn't. We're ambitious, we want to see our team progress, and we'd like to think that this is the time when we're going to do that.
2 small nations represented here. It really is remarkable that the Danes have managed to form a side good enough to reach the World Cup finals. It's only a pretty small country, and they don't have all that many people to choose from. And a real point of interest for you, that such is the fanaticism in Denmark for football, that they reckon that 4/5 of the 5 million population will be watching on television, hopefully today.
Well, I think there's a fair percentage of that population here, John, because looking at the red and white around this stadium, they certainly have got a lot of support.
They certainly have. And plenty of war painted evidence. The Danes do tend to like to dress up and paint themselves, and a lot of them have got their faces covered in red and white grease paint. I'm sure that you would say that many of the Tartan supporters here are just as colourful.
Well, they're certainly colourful, John. One of the problems we've got, it's difficult to paint tartan on faces, you know, but I've seen 1 or 2 with the St Andrew's Cross, so we're represented.
Well, you're certainly dressed in blue, Billy, and the whole of Scotland will be keeping fingers crossed now, especially after that England result last night. The hopes in Britain must be that Scotland can produce something.
Well, I didn't want to mention that one, John, but yes, the hopes of Britain are now on the Scots.
We're underway. Denmark in those red and white strips, playing from right to left. As we look out here over the stadium, I'll say the name again, by the way. It's Netzerhualwakotl, and that's the last time I'm going to say it for the sake of my dentist. From now on it will be referred to as Neza. This is Lebu. The first tackle of the match from Graham Souness, who will certainly put himself about, I'm sure, in this match. Morten Olsen, the captain and sweeper, aged 36, playing in his first World Cup finals. Arnesen robbed in midfield by Aitken. The Danes managing to keep possession. And if people in Liverpool are wondering why Jan Molby is not playing in this game, he's not been at his best since the FA Cup final, in which he was the star, of course, for Liverpool. He's not really been feeling 100%. Talking to me just before the match, he said that he thinks he might get into the team for the next game, but he's never quite right for this one. The pitch is in lovely condition. Last week the grass was very long, but it's certainly been cut since then, and I don't think anybody out there will complain about the state of the grass. Willie Miller. The first chance Scotland have had to build, and Miller's pass cut out easily by Ivan Nielsen. Now Arnesen, and he's looking down the middle there for Laudrup. He's got good pace and confronted here by Miller. Laudrup knocking the ball across and over the top from Berggren. Scotland must beware of the pace of Michael Laudrup.
Well, I think that's obvious right from the start, John, that he got himself right onto the sweeper, he got himself right onto Willie Miller, and once he's got that little bit of room, that type of pace is going to be very, very dangerous for the Scots.
I do assure you that Eamon Bannon hasn't defected to Denmark, and that was definitely not him that was shown on your caption. And Scotland in blue, attacking here with Charlie Nicholas, who has looked very sharp in training. Souness. Goff going for the return, but the ball from Nicholas almost too far ahead of him. Most of the teams who've taken altitude training seem to have adapted pretty well to the conditions out here. You can see a lot of the Danish supporters sitting. It is fairly warm here, to be honest, today, but there's no sun. Danes with the slow build-up there, Laudrup. And now Bertelsen. Another vastly experienced man there, Soren Busk, to Løby. He's managed to find Jesper Olsen. And Elkjær has got Olsen away down this left-hand side. The Danish supporters cheering in anticipation here, but that was much too long. So Steve Nicol allowing the ball to run out of play. And that is something, Billy, that we've noticed. A lot of the crosses in the World Cup so far have gone beyond the players in the middle, and that perhaps is due to the altitude.
I think you're right, John, because no one seems really to have adjusted to that, and we've seen an awful lot of players get into good positions and waste the chance by playing the ball too far.
Nicholas did well there, coming back, retaining possession of the ball. And the long one down the middle is for Sterick, who's shown good control there in holding off Nielsen. Just outside the area, Strachan has made a run forward, and here is Strachan, who'll be offside, and taking the ball there from Roy Aitken. Referee Lajos Nemet from Hungary. There's two linesmen today, by the way, are Siegfried Kirchen from East Germany and a gentleman by the name of Falaj Kuzam Al-Shakan, who you'd be surprised to know comes from Saudi Arabia. Nicholas. Out on that left touchline, Steve Nicol still in possession, and the cross is a bit too long. Goff's there though. Nicholas! Oh, and the ball canning off a defender. Goff tries to drive it in again, appeals for a handball against Løby, not given.
Løby just crossing the halfway line, and that's a great ball for Berggren. There was no flag, but the ball was just that little bit too long. Klaus Berggren there, one of the stars of the 1984 European Championships, when of course Denmark reached the semi-finals. This is Nielsen from Feyenoord, and of course so many of the Danes play abroad. This is Soren Løby, who is about to leave Bayern Munich in a transfer to Monaco. He's just signed a 3-year contract with them. And here's another of the players who plays abroad, Frank Arnesen. The captain, Morten Olsen. Takes up some good forward positions, as does Arnesen here, confronted by Miller. Arnesen's past him inside the area. The flick back, Berggren with the header, no danger in the end, or was there? Well, surely was out. But a bit disconcerting the way Frank Arnesen was allowed to get inside the penalty area and get that crossing.
Well, it is, John, particularly after the move we just had when we saw Richard Goff come on the back end of a cross, play it to Charlie Nicholas, and Charlie Nicholas was only a hair's breadth from opening the scorer for Scotland. That was a nice move, but we've got to be concerned about the ease in which the Danes get in behind us.
Souness, the captain of Scotland, to Nicol, and a good run by Sturrock. The flag's gone up for offside. I think actually it was Nicholas who strayed offside rather than Sturrock there, who came from a position behind him. the one sign of encouragement for you is that in 9 previous meetings between these two countries, Scotland have actually won 8 of those matches. Denmark's only triumph back in 1971 in the European Championships, when this man Morten Olsen, who's just passed the ball, was actually playing for Denmark alongside Finn Laudrup, whose son Michael is in the team today. So you can see how Morten Olsen has spanned the decades. Lerby for Denmark. Outside him is Jesper Olsen. And Souness bringing the ball down, but Elkjær is offside. So many inventive players in the Danish team, and many people have likened them to the Dutch side of the 70s.
They play that type of football, John. You know, they leave these 3 at the back, they flood the midfield, but all of those midfield players can step forward very, very comfortably indeed. So it gives them loads of support for the front too.
Nicol is waiting for the pass, which eventually comes to him from Malpass. Possession lost though. At home you're probably wondering about the slow pace of some of these matches. I'm sure that has been down to the heat in many of the stadiums, but it's not as hot here, so perhaps we might see a faster, livelier game. This is Nicol now. Malpass behind him, but he wants to play the ball forward into space, looking for Sturrock. 10 minutes gone. It's Scotland 0, Denmark 0 here in Nezat. Scotland's first game. And the earlier result today, West Germany 1, Uruguay 1. In the section, I know that a lot of the Scottish people think that that's a very good result for Scotland, actually. It's Jesper Olsen dashing back there to help retrieve the situation for Denmark. But without question, this the toughest group. Strachan has won the ball from his Manchester United colleague Olsen and drifted across beyond Nielsen. And not a bad try that by Charlie Nicholas.
I thought it was an inventive ball from Gordon Strachan, John. He played it in there behind the defence. There's a little bit of room in either side behind those Danish back 3, and Charlie did well to hold himself in that position.
Scotland have been staying in another unpronounceable place called Teotihuacan, which is literally translated the place where men become gods. And I know if Charlie Nicholas scores a hat-trick here today, the Scots will regard him as something of a god.
I think you can safely say that, John.
Arneson. Frank Arneson, one of these playmakers who plays very deep but then pops up all over the place. And somebody Scotland will certainly have to watch. He's in possession again here. Laudrup has come deep. Nice little build-up. Elkjær was involved there. Arneson once more. Laudrup once more. Good skill to get past McLeish. Laudrup. Michael Laudrup! A quite brilliant effort by the Dane. Laudrup has got such tremendous skills. And he cut inside McLeish, and then he unleashed a tremendous drive, and that's the closest to a goal we've seen.
Well, unfortunately for Scotland, it was at the wrong end, but what tremendous skill this Michael Laudrup showed there when he took Alec McLeish on, made himself shooting position and finished up with a good shot.
More danger then averted for Scotland. Laudrup is such a fine player, still only 21 years of age as well. Great future ahead of him. That ball, chase on here for Sturrock. He'll get there too, and he'll win the first corner of the game, and it goes Scotland's way. So a few flags start to wave around the stadium. Troels Rasmussen, 6'4", and the Sturrock comes inside the area there, the man who won the corner kick. But as you see, several Danes back, and this ball is going to be curled in by Strachan. It's away by Busk. for a throw-in on this near side where our commentary position is. In this relatively new stadium in Netzer, built only 4 years ago. It cost him several £1 million, as you would expect. Souness with the throw. Oh, it's gone beyond everybody. And a real mix-up there, and Nicholas nearly capitalised. Scotland have another corner. Encouragement there for Scotland.
I think there's great encouragement for Scotland just at the moment. The Danes look to be very, very nervous and excitable indeed there, John.
So here comes Steve Nicol, who'll drive it in just across the face of goal. That's a fine effort from the man from Liverpool. So palpitations for defences at both ends.
Well, it looked very much like a chance for Scotland there, John. One of the things that struck me early on in the game, that if we eliminate the Danish front two, who are very, very dangerous indeed, I don't think there's all that much about the rest of the team that we should worry about. We started the game quite comfortably.
They're enjoying it. You can see that. The Scottish supporters are here as an army. And that's going to be a free kick. Flat challenged by Roy Aitken on Jens-Jon Bertelsen. Bertelsen just come back into the side, a very experienced international, 57 caps. Actually works in insurance when he's not playing football. Many of these Danes do have other jobs. Olsen. Busk, and Arneson has made a tremendous run down that right-hand side, cut out by Willie Miller. The closing stage is somewhat tentative, but then chances at both ends in the last couple of minutes. Lurby making space on his left here. Here's Morten Olsen, who takes up some very adventurous forward positions and has found Arneson inside the area. It's just beyond Elkjær, and coolly done by Steve Nicol. Another feeling is that Scotland won't give away many goals. It's a solid looking back four with McLeish and Miller, their Aberdeen partners, of course, now very experienced internationals. Here's Nicol once more. He's had a good start to this game, couldn't quite thread the ball through for Charlie Nicholas. Souness has picked it up though. Malpass, Sturrock out on the left now. Here's Sturrock, brought down right on the edge of the area. And I think that's why Paul Sturrock was probably included. He's likely to win free kicks around the box.
That's exactly why he was included, John. He's a very quick, sharp little player. He's had an injury or two during the season, but it looks as though he's recovered and looks very quick and sharp tonight. He'll cause problems for the Danes if we can feed some balls into him.
And the other good thing there was that Graham Souness picked up that ball smartly and fed it immediately to Sturrock to get him in that attacking position. The Scots have got four men up in the box. McLeish is perhaps at the far post, a bit too far, but Goff loops his header inches over the top.
That's an area I think that we can be very dangerous, because Richard Goff's got a good scoring record for a defender, as has Alec McLeish. They're good in there, they'll come in and attack the ball.
Richard Goff, by the way, one man who doesn't have any problems with acclimatisation. He used to live in Johannesburg, which is 6,000 feet above sea level, so he's certainly used to it. As we all are now. Some of us feel as though we've been here for about 3 years. Malpass. And the centre for Nicholas. Bundled off the ball. He's won the free kick all right. Charlie Nicholas does look fairly sprightly to me.
I think that gave indication that he wanted one of the game, and that's always good to see and encouraging to see. It was a fierce challenge from behind, but he held them off and got the ball in front of him.
Souness quickly taken free kick, but the Danish defence spotted that. Soren Busk did anyway. Jesper Olsen, who seems to have acquired a beard since he left Manchester United. He's been brought into the side with Jan Molby not feeling 100%. This is Elkjær. Olsen once more. Morten Olsen, his namesake and no relation, is coming up on the left. And a corner off Richard Goff. fascinating actually to see the way the Danes interswitch. They all play all over the park. Morten Olsen certainly has taken up some very attacking positions. This is Jesper Olsen trying to get round Malpass. Good little low dangerous cross. Aitken did well to knock it for the corner. Jim Leighton organising his defence. He's definitely the #1 Scotland goalkeeper these days. Came into the side after the last World Cup in Spain and has virtually been the first name picked every time. Olsen. I think the Danes content just to play at walking pace until they see an opportunity for a more incisive ball. Bertelsen. He's got some space here. We'll try a crack, I'm sure. Always worth a try, and he got plenty of power into the shot, but so many players find it difficult to keep the ball down.
Well, I was certainly happy to see it go over the bar, but he made a lot of ground, and they always say the one way to beat a retreating defence is to have a shot from far out.
Malpass brings Scotland over the halfway line. Nielsen cutting it out. And Bergman was putting his side in a spot of bother with the back pass. "20 minutes gone. Still Scotland 0, Denmark 0 here in Neza. And that ball, surely Nicholas was offside there. It cannoned away from the boot of Malpass. Not much doubt about the offside. Charlie Nicholas there will be looking for his 6th goal for his country. The one big worry I know about Scotland has been that the 5 strikers they've brought with them here have amassed only 13 international goals between them. And here's a chance. If Sturrock can latch onto this one, good defending by Lerby prevented him. Laudrup. Busk. Okay, little seen of him so far. Scotland will be delighted about that. He's still there, no doubt about it. He committed the foul. It's Roy Aitken who felt the brunt of that tackle. And I think there was no doubt about it that Elkiar did foul the man.
I don't think there was any doubt at all. He went through in the challenge. I know Roy Aitken, having been his manager for some considerable years. He's not a lad who would lie down to anything. It's a fierce challenge.
Interestingly enough, all of the Scottish substitutes jumped out of the bench and started trotting along the touchline there when Aitken went down. Sturrock fighting off Nielsen here, laying the ball back for Goff. Strachan is brought down. And at this moment, Strachan and Lerby are not the best of friends. "21 minutes gone, free kick then to Scotland. And a very dangerous position. Souness floats it, McLeish is in. Just beyond that far post. But certainly when Scotland have had these situations, they've looked like scoring.
I think we've got 2 players, 2 defenders who, when they come into the opposing team's box, are very, very good in there and very good at attacking balls. You'll see, I'm quite sure, before the game ends, you'll see some good, hopefully, scoring efforts from Richard Goff as well.
Seems strange to think that Alex McLeish is still awaiting his first goal for his country, and he's won 44 caps today. He's got a few goals for Aberdeen. Nicholas laying the ball off for Souness. Jesper Olsen will challenge his clubmate Strachan there, and he also try and push Souness off the ball, and he certainly came off second best in that challenge against Souness. The ball's through the middle, but Aitken's offside. And Jesper Olsen found out what it's like to try and take the ball away from Graham Souness there.
I think that was a make-weight competition there, John, but an interesting aspect for me is that they're leaving Jesper Olsen to cope with Richard Gough when on the ball, and I think that might prove too much for him. Richard Gough's very good at getting into the opposing team's box, and I'm sure he'll cause the Danes problems.
But beware here, that's a lovely ball from Arneson to Berggren, and the cross. Easy meet for Jim Leighton. Good challenge by Nielsen. And now perhaps we'll see more of Jesper Olsen in an attacking light. A little opportunity so far coming forward, but now he's got past Strachan. Just checks before he wins another corner for Denmark. Laudrup and now Arneson. Such delicate touches, some of these Danes, but Scotland have won it back. Malpas finds Strachan. Nicholas trying to make a run away to his left. Here's Sturrock on the right. Well won by Nielsen. And here's Jesper Olsen. Arneson's out on the wing, and here is Arneson. With the offside though. Arneson doesn't like the decision of the linesman on the far side. Personally, I don't think there was much doubt that he was off. Sturrock battling hard there, but losing out to Danes. But Nicholas has won it back for Scotland and found Aitken, his old clubmate in Celtic days. Denmark flooding forward this time. Arneson brought down by Steve Nicol. Well, Arneson has had a career littered with bad injuries. He's been dogged by ill fortune throughout his career. I don't think that was one of the more serious knocks he'll take though. His problem actually stemmed from a knee operation which went wrong. So free kick to Denmark. It's 40 yards out. Elkjær tries his luck, and I don't think Scotland will mind him shooting from that range.
I think we were quite glad it went wide of the post, mind you, John, because it showed his shooting power. He really did hit that ball from a long way out. Probably over-ambitious, but nevertheless gave us an indication of the power with which he can hit the ball.
Souness. Malpas through to Nicholas. Arneson's taken it away though. He'll have to wait, he's not got a lot of support. Lerby is dashing forward. Arneson ignored him and picked out Jesper Olsen instead. That was a bit of a sloppy ball, but again Arneson's won it back, and now Souness has done just the same for Scotland. Elkjær will chase that back pass from Souness. We've not seen a lot of concerted efforts as yet. Both sides are finding it hard to keep possession for very long. Nicholas has done well there for Scotland, finding Strachan, lovely ball across which Nicol might just intercept. No, knocked away from him by Bertelsen. Malpas comes up in support. Arneson did well again there. Arneson's made a good start to this match. very much involved, as is his captain here, Olsen. And Willie Miller rather clumsily bringing Laudrup down there. I don't think there's any need for that foul in that position.
No, I don't think. In actual fact, I think that Laudrup played for the foul in many, many ways, Sean. But it's been a very, very competitive game so far. Hence the reason we've not seen a whole lot of concerted and pleasant football. But you know, both teams have had the chances, and at the moment it's very, very competitive, particularly in midfield where there are so many players.
Yes, it's certainly an interesting game for the people of Nazar to watch. This is the biggest occasion in the history of the city. It's an amazing city of 3 million people. And here's Elkjaer inside the area. He complains, the Danes complain. The referee has none of it. I think he's saying, use your eyes to the referee. That's a very dangerous statement for him to suggest.
The Danish has improved then, John, has it?
Well, when you hear Jan Molby speak these days, you sometimes wonder where he was born.
Someone told me he speaks better than the Scots. Or better English, that is.
Very true. There's Laudrup. Always danger when Laudrup's on the ball. Elkjaer's making a run on his left. Arneson on his right. The flag went up. And good refereeing to allow play to continue. Nicholas on that left-hand touchline. Can't take on Nielsen. The pace is slow at the moment, but South Sooners looks for something a little bit more adventurous. Nicholas slipped, and so Bergvin brings it away. Scotland 0, Denmark 0. And often the first goal so crucial in World Cup matches. Denmark are looking for it here with their captain. And Elkjaer's made a run down the middle. Bundle off the ball, but the referee again saying that Elkjaer took a dive. Willie Miller suggested exactly the same thing. And Elkjaer trooped disconsolately away. Oh, Nickel almost gave the ball away to Laudrup. He's the last man in the world you should do that to. Good interception by Busk. And the atmosphere in the crowd is becoming even more electric minute by minute, despite the fact they haven't got a goal to cheer. Here's Arneson and Jesper Olsen. This time Arneson's control lets him down.
He made a little bit of a mess of that, John, but he's turned in a tremendous performance so far. Very, very skillful player. He's involved in the game very, very much, and he's a dangerous player. He trumps the Danes. At the moment, he seems to me the most skillful of the midfield players in Groupe.
Paul Sturrock is the man in agony at the moment. Fell under that challenge from Busk. 33 years of age, Soren Busk now, so with he and Morten Olsen at 36 in the defence. Certainly a bit of experience. Paul Sturrock's back on his feet though. And how he would love to get his 4th Scotland goal today to justify the faith shown in him by Alex Ferguson. Good clean catch by Rasmussen, and he then nearly made a mess of it. In fact, the referee says that he did carry the ball outside the area. Now then, this is an unexpected opportunity for the Scots.
Well, it's certainly a bonus, John, but from where I am, I certainly thought he had overcarried the ball and just pushed it just slightly outside the box. I feel the referee was correct in his decision.
Well, we can see Rasmussen, the goalkeeper, there. Yes, it looks as though the ball just went over the white line. Rasmussen starred against Celtic back in 1983 in the UEFA Cup. So some of the Scots know plenty about him. Strachan teeing it up for Souness. Well off the target. He never got the angle right for that.
No, I think obviously they've worked that ploy before, probably in training. it just didn't come off on this occasion.
Graham Souness will want to do better than that. He scored, of course, against England at Wembley a couple of months ago. McLeish winning the ball in the air from Elkjaer. And so far, Preben Elkjaer's had no change whatsoever out of McLeish and Miller. The Danes so good on the ball. It's lovely to see the way they stroke the ball around, but that was one of the poorer balls, straight to the foot of Willie Miller. But without doubt they do have great technical skills, the Danes, which they've learnt since Sepp Piontek took over as their manager.
They are very skillful, John. They're also very, very patient indeed. They don't seem to be in any great hurry to get forward, and they probe and they probe and they probe until they think they see us a chance.
Here's Strachan. Souness has to chase back a little to receive the pass, and then miss kicks. He just took his eye off the ball momentarily. Olsen has found Elkjaer in a good position. Good covering back by Roy Aitken. Sturrock, a long and searching pass for Strachan to chase, but it was always a little over-ambitious. Arneson. Now Lurby down the line for Elkjaer to chase. McLeish with him will have no trouble at all in letting that one run out.
Just at the moment, the game has died quite a bit. I think both teams are very, very frightened of losing the first goal. They're obviously come here both anxious to make a good start to it, and I think at the moment it's showing in the play.
If you're wondering about the tremendous roars going up around the stadium, it's because the spectators are leaping up and down in their seats in this rhythmical fashion that seems to be the custom of Mexico. And they're lapping it up even if they haven't got any goals to cheer. Meanwhile, back on the field, Scotland have a corner. They certainly will cheer if the ball ends up in the back of the net. Strachan will take the corner. Given in, and Aitken went in for it, so did Gough there. In the end, it's Elkjaer of all people who hacks it away into the other half of the field where there was only Willie Miller and Jim Leighton anyway. Oh, what a ball that one is from Miller out to Strachan on that far side. Must have done all the 50 yards that pass. Nice little build-up here, and a good tackle by Morten Olsen.
Wasn't that tremendous pass from Willie Miller just a second or two ago, Johnny? You saw Gordon Strachan away out in that left wing, and it was a tremendous ball to reach him.
Yes, there aren't many better defenders in the world, I don't think, than Willie Miller on his day. He's very cultured, very calm, and very implacable, I would say.
He's not particularly noted for his good passing, John, but you can put that one in the book any day.
Malpass for Scotland. Now Nicol. Finding Nicholas. Made a very good start to this match. He doesn't seem to have had much of the ball recently, but now Scotland are coming forward and they've got men up in this attack. Aitken. Now Strachan, who's got a bit of space here. Thought he was going to try his luck. He's got it through. Gough inside the area. Richard Gough. So close. An agonised look on the face of Gough, but a delightful ball through the middle to set up the chance.
Beautiful little pass from Gordon Strachan there. And Richard Gough, as I mentioned earlier, will cause all sorts of problems. He was only fraction away from opening and scoring for Scotland.
He'll be disappointed actually not to have got his name on the sheet with his third Scottish goal there. It's probably the best chance we've seen. And you can see what the Scottish supporters think about that. A few banners waving. They've certainly made their presence felt in Mexico. Malpass now for Scotland. These are better moments for the Scots. They've certainly seem to have got a bit of a grip. Sturrock drifts it over, and there's Goff again. He's almost an extra attacker at times, Richard Goff.
Well, he'll get in there, John, and he won't be far away.
Still 0-0. But this has been Scotland's best period of the game, the last few moments.
Well, we've got them under pressure. They haven't really cleared the ball consistently from the last corner we had, and at the moment they look just a little bit tense, a little bit nervous at the back.
Scotland are certainly winning on corners. Strachan again will take it. A lot of men up in the box. Goff was there again. Rasmussen missed it first time and got it the second.
Yes, he was chasing shadows, John, wasn't he? He was just very, very fortunate came back into his hands. They looked very tense and nervous at the back. At the moment, the game is slowly but surely swinging Scotland's way.
Actually, the Danes have not had a very promising build-up to these finals. They've lost matches to Iraq, Bulgaria, Norway and Paraguay this year. But that's not to say we're counting our chickens here, because we know what good players they've got. And here is perhaps the best of them so far today, Frank Arneson. Oh, shown good pace, good control. He's got Souness in front of him here, and hasn't Souness done well? Souness has had a very good first half for me.
Yes.
That was good, but let's wait, because Bertelsen is here and Laudrup. And this time it's Aitken who comes to the rescue of his country.
Yes, Graham Souness had a very, very timely tackle indeed there, but he settled in quite a bit confidently there in the midfield. And at the moment, as I mentioned earlier, I think Scotland are starting to win the battle.
No doubt about that. Aitken is brought down by Lurby and stays down. And that's the second time we've seen Jamaican bite the nets of grass. Roy Aitken, I'm transferring him for the Scottish rugby team for a moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't fall out with him, John. It's a big lad to handle.
There we can see it again. He's certainly caught him very badly then. But Aitken never shirks the challenge. Gets up, looks at the referee and says, what on earth's going on? And Scotland have taken their free kick. Offside, Sturrock. Closing 5 minutes of the first half, as that ball is fairly bulleted out to Bergerin on the right. And again, Miller's done a good marking job to take him away from the danger area. Now Laudrup knocking it back inside for Arneson. Once more it's Souness who makes the critical challenge. Olsen waiting for support. Again he finds Arneson up there, and Elkjaer. Arneson's gone for the return, gets in the shot. Oh, tremendous effort again by Arneson. It's amazing the number of times we've seen shots which just seem to creep over that crossbar instead of just under it, thankfully for Scotland.
This lad can play, but a lovely little interchange here, and he saw the opportunity, he saw the space there, and he wasn't all that far away at all. What a good player.
Arneson's got 14 goals for his country, and he was close to 15 then. Souness always looks composed on the ball, Graham Souness. His time he's found Malpass, and now Sturrock. Oh, good play by Sturrock. He really left his man for dead there. 2-3 men in the box. It's away though by Morten Olsen. But that was a lovely little piece of play by Paul Sturrock.
Paul Sturrock can be very, very happy with his first half performance. He stretched them at the back at times, and he's been getting in behind them, and if he can continue to do that, we're bound to get something from it.
So a whole stream of corners for Scotland, none of them as yet productive. What's happening now? Goff's in there again, and again he can't just keep it down enough. Well, perhaps the best chances of the half have fallen to Richard Goff. Sure, all Scots will remember the goal he got against England last year at the Camden.
We certainly do, John.
Goff again, this time in the defensive action. Maurice Malpass. A long and searching one again for Sturrock. There's no way he was going to get there with the towering Nielsen accompanying him. Bertelsen for Denmark. Arneson once more. You always sense the danger when he's around. I think it is really to Denmark's credit that they're able to get such a composed team, and you think that only 8 of their 22 squad here actually play the game in Denmark. Strachan losing out to Olsen, winning it back, but a free kick is given away by Goff. The closing seconds almost of the first half now, and 30 seconds in fact on the clock. That's all we've got left here of the opening half. So unless something dramatic happens here, it looks as though we're going to go in scoreless. But there have been chances at both ends. And now Laudrup is making a very good run down that right-hand side. Might have to wait until one or two of his colleagues get up, but he now delivers the cross towards Arneson. Goff beat off Jesper Olsen. Now Sturrock has switched flanks. He's certainly moved around very effectively. Sturrock's worked very hard. The referee looks at his watch. The whistle will go any second now. And there in fact is the end of the first 45 minutes here in Neza. A half in which we've seen chances at both ends, 2 falling to Arneson for Denmark, and the best for Scotland, one which Richard Goff just knocked it over the crossbar. So half-time here. It's Denmark 0, Scotland 0. We'll be back shortly.
Denmark against Scotland, and rejoin Billy McNeill and John Helm.
Welcome back to Neza. Your timing absolutely perfect as the second half starts. And a reminder, the half-time score was Scotland 0, Denmark 0. And a quick thought from Billy McNeill. As a manager yourself, what do you think Alex Ferguson might have been saying to the lads in the dressing room?
Well, I think he'd be expressing his delight in the manner in which they played the first half. Really, we've seen very, very little of these Danish strikers up front, and that's a good sign. And equally, we've carved out a chance or two ourselves. Indeed, we've probably carved out the best 2 chances in the game, John. I think we've got to keep playing. We've got to try and draw them a bit at the back and see if we can knock a pass or 2 in behind for little Paul Sturrock, who's showed a little bit of sharpness that's caused him a problem.
Thank you, Billy. No substitutes. So nobody's been feeling the pace too much here. It's certainly not a hot day in Neza. We had about an hour's sunshine this morning, and then it waved goodbye to us again. Anybody who tells me that the sun shines perpetually in Mexico City, I will strangle. Don't you believe it at home? Now, Denmark coming forward here with Busk. Good challenge again from Souness. He's won so many balls today, and he's just won another one. And he's always in the thick of the action, the new manager of Glasgow Rangers.
Well, he sure didn't want to be second best there, John, didn't he?
Cacophony of trumpets and drums and whistles and hooters and klaxons. And the people of Neza here, we've really got to pay tribute to them. Not amongst the richest in the world, that's for sure. And they've really gone out of their way to make this a World Cup to remember. Nice little dummy there by Nicholas. Almost getting Aitken into the penalty area in a good position. Lerby just going inside Scottish territory and now finding Berggren, of whom little was seen in the first half. A little bit disappointing. Klaus Berggren had such a good European Championships 2 years ago. Souness, Nichols making a good run down the left and might just get there to that pass. So good covering by Morten Olsen. He might be 36, but he's a very sprightly 36. Arneson taking the ricochet from Strachan. Arneson is the most progressive of the midfield players on view, I would say. Laudrup is in possession now, and Lerby will try a shot. Again, the player unable to keep the ball down. It is extraordinary how many times in the matches so far we've seen players having a clear-sighted goal and unable to hit the target.
It was a long way out again, John, but you know, we've seen the ball fly so quickly here that I think it's well worth the shot. Obviously he's lifted his head a bit.
If you're wondering about the difference altitude makes, I can tell you that Billy McNeil with a 2-wood drives about 435 yards here, as opposed to only 370 at home.
Straight into the rough now.
Miller's clearance flicked on. It was a very good flick by Aitken. It found Nicholas, but that's not a good ball from Souness. The first time he's really wasted it. So Laudrup sets off down the right flank. Good covering by Scotland. 4 blue shirts around him. Here's Elkjær though, real danger. Elkjær almost capitalised then. It was a superb little pass through. Laudrup surrounded by 4 Scots. Elkjær smiles. And that's the first chance he's really had to put the ball in the net instead of in the side net. Nichols showing good tenacity. Laudrup beats off Souness. Not a good ball through. Elkjær, Billy, is one of those strikers. He's a predator, isn't he? He's always there ready to pounce.
Well, the thing about this Denmark team, John, it's like fighting against a boxer whom you know has got a knockout punch, and between them, Laudrup and Elkjær almost gave us that knockout punch just a second or two ago. Indicates the danger that we can expect from them.
Nicholas denying any space there, and still is doing. And in the end, Scotland have got it back. I think that's going to be too long for Sturrock, but the goalkeeper has to dribble back inside his own area. Danish football only went professional in 1978. Strictly an amateur game until then. So they have come a long way in those 8 years. And this man has come an awful long way. Morten Olsen won over 80 caps. Oh, definitely caught there. Elkar. Oh, I thought he was going to tread on Malpass for a moment. Elkar a bit unhappy about some of the treatment that's being dished out to him. Free kick has been taken. Lerby is in possession. Elkar again is offside. And still can't put the ball in the net. Steve Archibald and Frank McAvenny, incidentally, are both on the touchline at the moment, just doing a few limbering up exercises. Whether that's an indication or not that Alex Ferguson is thinking of changes, we shall have to wait and see. Arneson broke quickly. Strachan did well, so did Souness. Ah, yes, very good play. Aitken. And Aitken's off on his own, and he couldn't quite get the ball through to Nicol. Be too long, perhaps. No, Berggren keeping it in. One interesting thing in this half is that Jesper Olsen seems to have switched roles. He's operating down the same flank he did in the first half, and he's in possession here now. Bertelsen, now Laudrup. Bertelsen taking the return pass. Arneson, well, ball coming away, but Jesper Olsen in the first half was used almost totally in a defensive role to try and cut out the presence of Richard Gough.
I think what he's been asked to do this half, John, he's been allowed a more free role. He's allowed to go anywhere, and if he can see a space, he's been asked to go and fill it. But I think he's trying to see a situation where he's not so easily marked.
Sturrock knocked off the ball. Referee says no foul. So Lerby for Denmark. He's found Laudrup, who's always willing to run at defences. This time he switches play to the right to Berggren, who's seen more of the ball in the second half than he did in the first. Arneson, this man's seen plenty of it throughout, and a lovely little ball through for Laudrup. Good tackle by Willie Miller. Timely intervention, to say the least, but here's Jesper Olsen popping up on the left now. There's the cross for Elkar. Good control, good defence by Nicol. A classic bit of defending by Willie Miller.
That's Willie Miller at his best. Very, very good last gasp defender.
Nicol, shadowed by Bertelsen. Just a switch back inside for Souness. And once again, Richard Gough has come right up to the edge of the penalty area. So if the cross eventually does come in from Sturrock, you'll see Gough go well. Typical that commentator's nightmare as he's talking about a cross coming in. Sturrock lets the ball run under his foot and out of play. And look at the other end. Laudrup is here. Great pace past Miller inside the area. Elkar. Still Elkar. And McLeish gets it away. But Laudrup's pace then electrifying.
Magnificent run from Laudrup. I thought Prebneltje was very tentative in his approach to it. Thank goodness for the Scots, but having said that, it was a tremendous run by Laudrup. At the moment, John, the Danes seem to be getting on top, and they seem to be getting through the Scottish defence just a wee bit easier than I would like.
Sturrock here, playing it for Nicholas. There's Aitken on the edge of the area, back for Strachan. Well, I've tried a shot there, but Arneson was in the way. And again, Laudrup taking up a good position. Elkjar's dashing down the middle. Might just get there ahead of goal. Brilliant defensive play by Willie Miller. For the third time in this match, Miller has shown tremendous anticipation.
Magnificent tackle again, good defending work, and although Prebneltje just lying down in that penalty looking for something, he knows only too well that Willie Miller had a great tackle on him.
Such a fine reader of a game, Miller, always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Nice shimmy by Sturrock to get him away from Busk, and he'll carry on this run. Got support from Nicol. Oscillating. Underneath it seems to be Scotland in the ascendancy. Then it's Denmark. And here's Goff chasing back with Jesperos.
It's been a real high quality game, John. You know, there's lots of good play. We haven't had any goals, which is the only thing that's lacking. But there's been some very, very good quality play, particularly from midfield players.
Arneson will run up them all right. Elkjær again is making the run, edge of the area. This is dangerous. Oh, Elkjær still in, and Elkjær scores for Denmark. That's the danger of the man. The goal had threatened, and when Elkjær for once got past Willie Miller, he didn't need a second invitation. He knocked the post. 12 minutes of the second half gone. The Scots are behind. And this remarkable man, Preben Elkjær, scores his 34th goal for Denmark in only his 57th game.
I think that's the sucker punch I spoke about earlier, John. But to be fair and to be honest, Denmark have had the best of this second half so far, and they've really looked as though they might score. And when it came with just a touch of luck, because Elkjær got a break of the ball off Willie Miller and then finished convincingly.
So ironic that Miller had been tremendous over the last few minutes in some of his tackles, and that you couldn't blame him for that goal, I'm sure, because the ball just ricocheted away from him to Elkjær.
And no way could you blame him, John. He's had a magnificent performance for Scotland, but this is when we've got to show our appetite for the game. This is when we've got to show our determination. I think the Scots start to show that we want to accept second best. We'll have a go at getting something done.
Well, Elkjær has a great record. He scored 8 of Denmark's 17 goals in the qualifying matches. Strangely enough, he almost joined Arsenal just before Charlie Nicholas did a few years ago, and Arsenal will see there exactly what they missed.
He's a tremendous goal scoring record, John, there's no doubt about that.
So the Danish supporters have a right to sing. The flags are waving over on that far side of the ground. And Scotland now have something to do. And Arneson comes to receive the throw. He's been so instrumental for me in everything that Denmark have done.
I think we might be seeing a Scottish substitution in a moment or two. I think probably now is the time to change it.
Oh, the ball given away there. Sorry, Billy. Just interrupting you for a moment as Jesper Olsen almost capitalised on a bit of a slack pass from Richard Goff. Who do you think? Archibald?
I think you've got to maybe think see something up front. You know, we haven't, although we've threatened earlier on, we haven't continued that threat. They may well be up front, the changes made.
The two players who were warming up a short time ago were Steve Archibald and Frank McAvenny. And in fact, it is going to be Frank McAvenny. The man who scored a goal against Australia to get Scotland here is about to enter the fray. Oh, here goes Laudrup again. This time he's brought down by Souness. Souness runs away almost nonchalantly as though nothing has happened. The referee has a few words with him.
I think Paul Sturrock's coming off just at the moment.
Yes, that's the substitution that's going to take place. Now, Frank McAvenny has had a marvellous season, of course, with West Ham United. But this is a very different scene to the First Division, even.
Well, it is.
But I think Frank coming on, in actual fact, he's got a tremendous goal-scoring record, John, and let's hope he's kept one or two up his sleeve for this particular World Cup, and this match in particular.
So good luck to McAvenny. Well played, Sturrock. He's certainly not let his country down. A lot expected then of Frank McAvenny. But he does have almost half an hour in which to achieve something.
And that's loads of time for a striker, and a good one like Frank McAvenny.
Denmark 1, Scotland 0 then. Preben Elkjær, almost predictably the scorer of the Danes' goal. And here they come once more, and Jesper Olsen slipping the ball inside. Frank Arnesen will try his luck and drives it in hard and high. Arnesen's probably had more shots in this match than anyone.
We've seen a tremendous display in this match from Frank Arnesen. From a Scotland point of view, John, it's disconcerting to see how easily they're getting through that defence at the moment.
Can the captain lift them? Souness. This time his pass is intercepted. And as you might expect, the Danes seem to be growing in confidence here. They're coming forward in numbers. This is Søren Lerby. Oh, and Elkjær's made a great run inside the area once more. Elkjær galloped off a hand. There's no way that was a penalty. But that now is 3 or 4 chances, shooting chances created in 5 minutes.
Yes, they've grown in stature and confidence, John. We've lost the midfield for the moment. We've got to work hard in there, get closer to our opponents, get a hold of the ball, see if we can start to build up an attack or two.
Nicol stayed down for a moment after that challenge, but he's up again now as Denmark, who seem to be concentrating on that left-hand side in the second half, have worked the ball out to Jesper Olsen once more. Strachan does find Nicholas, nice little back heel, and here's the little fella from Manchester United, Gordon Strachan. That might be too long though for Steve Nicol, stretching all the way to keep that ball in play. And an anxious look on the face of Alex Ferguson, who says, by the way, that the last 9 months have been sheer hell trying to manage Aberdeen and Scotland at the same time. I'm sure you would agree, Billy McNeil, it is a full-time job managing a country team.
Yes, it most certainly is. It's a full-time job managing a club side as well, John.
You should know. Inside the area, McAvenny, good piece of defensive play by Nielsen, just getting there ahead of the West Ham striker. Elkjær's come deep to help his side out in defence. And Berggren is very deep in the right back position at the moment. Malpass taking it up for Scotland, and a good run here by Nicol. The Danes are funneling people back furiously, and McAvenny gets up. The keeper didn't seem too sure again about the flight of the ball then.
Well, certainly didn't look confident at all. I think the referee's given a foul, John, but I think he's wrong to do so.
The Danish manager, Sepp Piontek, is not happy about that at all.
He'll be very unhappy with his big centre-back, number 3, who dallied on the ball there and eventually lost it.
"20 minutes of the second half gone. It's Denmark 1, Scotland 0. We might see quite a few back passes now. The Danes, remember, playing for the first time ever in the World Cup finals. Such is the interest back home. It's a certain brewery has pumped 16 million kroner into the team's efforts out here in sponsorship alone. Elkjaer's making another dash down the middle. Strachan's tackled back well. Morten Olsen has done his covering job. Rasmussen has seen plenty of the ball, but sadly from Scotland's point of view, generally from back passes. Olsen, too long.
You know, John, the Danes were playing so well. Now they've adopted this safety procedure. I think that it allows the other team to come back into the game, and that's what's happening at the moment. Scotland seem to have got a grip of the game again.
They've certainly got possession here with Malpass. Down the line for Nicol, who's made a good run there. Berggren is having to chase to get back and will give away a corner. Eye to eye with the press. A wry smile from Klaus Berggren. He's actually a Bachelor of Commerce, so he's a very intelligent fellow as well as a talented footballer. Well, Scotland have certainly had more corners than the Denmark side. They've got one here which Strachan will take. It's round about the penalty spot. It was Gough going up for it. This is Miller, chipped back in. Aitken onside. Aitken is not allowed. Roy Aitken was offside. The hand of Lajos Nemeth, the Hungarian referee, immediately pointed skyward. That's a disappointment to the Scots.
Yes, the linesman certainly had his flag up immediately, yes. It looked as though he was right.
Aitken did finish well, which is one nice thing to mention. Scoreline here in Neza is Denmark 1, Scotland 0. We're midway through the second half. This time it's the Danes who've won a corner.
Although that effort was disallowed for offside, John, that will have given the Scots some heartening.
Yes, always good to see the ball in the opposition net. And now we've got to look at the Scottish net, guarded by Jim Leighton. Aitken, who was in the action just a moment or two ago, gets the ball away. Looking there for Arneson. Leash. Now Strachan, who's dropped back to the right back position to receive that pass. McAvenny, who's not seen much of the ball since he came on, but does now, and finds Malpass with a good ball. Nicol just checking. The cross is drifted over to that far side. Souness is up there in the box. Just outside it is Charlie Nicholas, who can't quite work an opening for himself. And the move is nullified.
I thought there was obstruction, John. I thought Charlie was very, very unlucky.
Here's Olsen though. Jesper Olsen this is, of the Manchester United variety. Elkjaer, the goal scorer, might try his luck. He has got a good shot, Elkjaer. He's had to wait though because he's got no support. And Frank Arneson is on his bottom at the moment, waiting for the trainers to come on. Signaling the play can restart with the throw. Berggren has made a run inside the area. Malpass fortunately spotted it. And Scotland have 20 minutes left to save this match. Strachan's got away from Jesper Olsen, but Arneson tugging at his shirt couldn't prevent the pass. Souness. He lost out in the challenge, but was quicker to react. McLeish waiting for someone to make a run ahead of him. That man eventually is Strachan. Now asks Souness to do something, and everybody is in the Denmark half of the field save Jim Leighton at the moment. That's a good ball from McLeish. Strachan, and the cross. Oh, did it creep in at that corner by the post? Almost. Oh, goodness me. Well, the Danish hearts were in their mouths there. Rasmussen almost caught out on his near post.
That couldn't have been far away at all. His centre was caught out. Whether the ball moved in the air or not, I don't know, but his centre was caught out. It couldn't have been far away from being over.
Oh, but now McLeish has lost possession, and Elkjær might well receive the pass here and could put Scotland in deeper trouble. So close and so quick, the Danes breaking them. As the ball was laid back inside by Laudrup, Elkjær had a very good chance.
It's a real chance, John. It's something we can't afford to do, especially with the quality of these two front players. We can't afford to be slack or loose or careless in defence.
And it looks as though John Siverbeck might come on in a moment or two for Denmark. He's taken off his tracksuit top. And Siverbeck it is who will be used as a substitute by Denmark. So another Manchester United player coming on. Might well be that Jesper Olsen, another Manchester United player of course, could be the one to come off. We shall wait and see in a moment. In fact, you see the number 15, or we see the number 15 actually down there, and Scotland also are going to make a substitution. Eamon Bannon is going to enter the action, so we'll have two substitutions together as soon as the ball goes out of play. It's an interesting one. Strachan has time to deliver the pass. He finds Malthus, and here's Nicholas inside the area, cutting inside. Charlie Nicholas rolling it back, a chance for Souness. If he strikes it well, a disappointing end. Such a good move there, and that really was a gilt-edged chance for Graham Souness.
It was vintage Charlie Nicholas. He took 2 or 3 defenders out of the play, set up a lovely chance for Graham, but unfortunately screwed his shot wide.
Arneson is the man being replaced on the Denmark side. Eamon Bannon, the man from Dundee United there, is due to come on for Scotland. And it's Gordon Strachan who's coming off. Well, Strachan's been reasonably influential, I would have thought, in this second half. Your thoughts on that substitution, Billy McNeill?
Well, it surprised me just a little bit. The only thing I can think about is he's looking for Eamon Bannon to play up and down that right-hand side and see if we can get in behind the defence. That's what he does for his club side, certainly most of the times on the other side of the field. But I had felt that Gordon Strachan had been taking a big part, and a very influential one in this latter part of the game.
15 minutes to go. Scotland 0, Denmark 1. And I would think Scotland would be pleased to see the back of Frank Arneson as well. He's had a very good game. So Scotland now have 2 substitutes on. Frank McAvenny in place of Paul Sturrock, Eamon Bannon instead of Gordon Strachan, and John Siverbeck has just come on in place of Frank Arneson for Denmark. Aitken looping that one into the penalty area. There wasn't a blue shirt within 20 yards of that pass.
No, it was a wasted ball. unhappy to see Anderson off, John, because he's been the biggest influence, as far as I'm concerned, in the Danish side.
Great run here by Morten Olsen. He counted 40 yards then with nobody laying a finger on him. And what's more, he's found Jesper Olsen out there on that left touchline. Still Olsen. Goal kick though, just running the ball out of play. Leighton looks somewhat incensed. The result of this first game in the group, so important for Scotland. It's known as the Group of Death, and with matches against West Germany and Uruguay to come, it really is imperative that they get something here today against Denmark. It's not a lost cause yet by any means. They've got a corner. It's taken already. That shows the urgency for Scotland. McAvenny putting his head to the ball. There really weren't enough men up when that corner was taken.
Nobody in the box at all, other than Frank McAvenny. We looked as though we were going to play a short corner, didn't come off for us. There was no one in there to support Frank McAvenny.
Berggren got Lerby trying to set something up then. In the end, the ball was just too long for Lerby. Goff. Now Nicholas. Oh, nicely. That's real nutmeg as it's down in the trade. But sadly nothing for Scotland again.
That's right. Bringing on John Sieverbeck, they've tightened up the defensive look, because John Sieverbeck's taken up what is more or less a regular right back position, so they've tightened up at the back just a little bit.
Elkjær firing a lovely ball out there to Jesper Olsen on the left, and Olsen comes inside, and here's Elkjær once more, surrounded by Scottish shirts. But he'll drive in a shot. It's a very good effort really from that distance.
It wasn't all that far away. He's very, very dangerous and exciting player.
Which is why he scores so many goals in the Italian league for Verona. Elkjær once played with one of the Scottish squad, Jim Betts, in his Lokeren days in Belgium. So the Scots know plenty about him. And there's a nice ball through for Berggren. It's Lerby, who's now brought down by Aitken. And Denmark, by the way, are going to make another substitution, and Jan Molby will be coming on. But let's have a look at that. Not much doubt about that challenge, producing a free kick for Denmark.
Good defending again by Willie Miller, John. He put Lerby under pressure. As a result, he gave Roy Aitken time to get back.
This time it is Jesper Olsen who's coming off, so a Manchester United player being replaced by one from Liverpool. Last time we saw Molby was in the FA Cup final, and he played quite magnificently in the victory over Everton. A little pat of good luck from Olsen. And Molby has just got 10 minutes to make some influence on the go. Elkjær with the free kick. The corner. The Danes now will be quite happy to waste a little bit of time.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Bringing on Jan Molby for Jesper Olsen again suggests to me that they're going to tighten up midfield just that little bit. Certainly Jesper Olsen hasn't had a big influence on, a big impact on the game.
Well, it's interesting, they've got a corner and there were 4 men back in their own half when it was being taken. It's a true indication, I think. Sieverbeck here though, fresh pair of legs. Molby gets his first touch. It's given away though which gives Nicholas the opportunity of a chase here with the Soren Bust, who's won the day. Lovely piece of skill by Klaus Berggren there to keep control under challenge from Maurice Malpas. Stevie Nicholas saying get on with it. Berggren goes down on his knees. The crowd whistle. Hoots of derision. Malpas is calling for the ball. Out on the flank. He's had one or two promising little runs in this second half. Generally they've come to nothing, but Nicholas has got that ball out to Nicol. It's going to be another corner for Scotland. So what can they do from this? 8 minutes left on the clock. Still Scotland 0, Denmark 1. A goal by Preben Elkjær in the 56th minute. With Strachanov, Nicol takes the corner. Right over to the far side of the penalty area. McLeish has done well to chase back, but he could get caught here by the pace of Laudrup. In fact, he hauls him back. The referee says play on, and now Miller brings down Laudrup. Well, there was danger there because McLeish was going to be left for dead by Laudrup.
His pace is absolutely tremendous. He's a nightmare for any centre-back. I'm glad I've retired before I had to face up to him, John.
I always thought you were quick, Billy.
Quick in thought.
Oh, that's a nice little move, but the final ball delivered by Mulvey, not good. Souness must try to lift the troops now. Nicholas did well there, and he's got away from Berggren. Well, he had, but Berggren bringing Souness down is going to be the first player booked in this match, I think. The referee reaching inside the pocket, and the name of Klaus Berggren will go into the little books. Charlie Nicholas has stayed down.
That booking was justified. You know, Charlie Nicholas is looking very fit and strong, and he's come into the game. He started the game well, and he's come into it well in this latter part as well. It all was a lot for his fitness and his attitude of mind, and that certainly was a nasty challenge.
Yes, we can see how he really caught him from behind there, and Nicholas is still down, and still nobody has managed to get to him for treatment. Now the physio does arrive. It was a shame that, because Nicholas's pace looked like carrying him beyond the Danish defence, and that might well have created an opening for the Scots.
That's right, John. He was advancing into very interesting territory. As I mentioned, Charlie has given us one or two flashes of his undoubted skill, particularly in the second half.
And the referee is calling for a stretcher. Now, don't be alarmed back home. That doesn't mean to say that Charlie Nicholas is mortally wounded or anything like that. It is a rule, a FIFA rule here, that when a player is injured, a stretcher is called for and he's taken off so that play can continue as quickly as possible. Well, the Scottish supporters must be wondering now if anything can happen to raise their spirits. They've seen their team go a goal down. Preben Elkjær, the man who struck that goal. So spirits just dampened for the moment here in Neza. Scotland now have a free kick, and those spirits would be considerably lifted if they could manage a goal here. Let's see what they can contrive. Souness will take it and drift it to that far post of McLeish, and it was the big fellow Nielsen who got it away under some pressure. 5 minutes of normal time left. There should be a little bit of injury time too, although we've noticed that referees tend not to have been allowing that. There's the corner. The keeper misses it badly as well, but fortunately for him there was no one there to take advantage. So Malpas drills the ball wide for Nicol. Denmark have only ever beaten Scotland once in 9 meetings. unless the Scots can do something quickly now, it'll go up to twice. The overhead kick. Oh, it nearly caught him out. That goalkeeper does not look too sure at the moment. The overhead kick from McAvenny almost caught him unawares.
His position on several occasions has been all wrong. Look at this, he's way off his line. That wasn't far away at all. Wasn't far away at all.
Now a few banners were beginning to wave then. Danish supporters, and there are many of them here in the stadium, are already beginning to think of their victory chants. They're called the Roligans, by the way. They use the war paint, and their chant is, "We are red, we are white, we are Danish dynamite." Well, I wouldn't say it's been a dynamic performance from Denmark, but if they get the 2 points here, I'll certainly think optimistically about the second phase. It's not all over yet.
No, it's not, John. Scotland have given caution, thrown caution to the wind, and you see Richard Buffer just advancing all through that middle of the field.
Seaver backs on one of those mazy runs of his across field. Aitken, a lovely ball down the line for Bannon to chase, and they'll have a corner. Charlie Nicholas, in some discomfort, as you see, has got the boot taken away from his right leg and is being carried off. Eamon Bannon is the man who's come on to replace him and has won the corner. 2 minutes left. And a very comfortable catch for Troels Rasmussen. Time obviously running out, and Elkias making a dash down the middle. A magnificent ball from Laudrup. Berggren's in the centre as well, but Elkias lost control. Stays 1-0.
Good defending again by Scotland. Morris Malpass never took his eye off the ball.
Sadly, from Scotland's point of view, that 1-0 is in Denmark's favour. 90 seconds left on the clock. The Danish supporters really are singing now. McAvenny just unable with that stretch to reach the ball. Let's not sound too disheartened though. A 1-0 defeat isn't the end of the world, as I'm sure England people will be saying after yesterday. But games coming up against West Germany and Uruguay represent a colossal task.
I think the disappointment, John, is in not taking anything from the first game. We had the chances in the first half. Unfortunately, the first chance that went in the net belonged to Denmark.
And one chance too many for Preben Elkjær. Probably the most lethal finisher in Europe. And when he got his chance, he took it well. And here's Laudrup trying to get a surely pushed Malpass then. He did indeed. Free kick given. 30 seconds left. Plus perhaps a bit of injury time. Here's Laudrup again. His pace has been quite blistering in the second half, but he's had the opportunities. And the Danes, as you'd expect, quite content to play the ball back. The referee is looking to his linesman. And it's looking, sadly, as though the final scoreline here is going to be in Denmark's favour. As the ball is hoofed down that right-hand side for Elkjær to chase. And I'm sure he'll want to retain possession as long as possible. Throw in. Again the referee looks at the watch. The Danish flags are raised. It's a red and white sea out here at the moment. The referee urges Denmark to get on with it, but now raises his hand. It's all over. And Denmark have taken the honours here in Nezha. It's not a good start for Scotland. The final scoreline, as you see there, is Scotland 0, Denmark 1. A goal after 56 minutes by Preben Elkjær separates the sides. A quick thought from you, Billy McNeil.
Well, a quick thought. I think that their front players were tremendously quick, and at the end of the day it was inevitable that they would get one half chance to score from it, and that's how it worked out.
So Denmark celebrates. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with Brian Moore and the panel.